Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy Siskind. I'm the author of this book called Playing Solo Jazz Piano, and I'm author of 3 levels of the Jazz Piano Fundamental series. That's right, there's a book 3 out now. Capitalism, coming right at you. All right, now on to the opposite of capitalism, maybe, which is art. The opposite, that's probably not right. But, spiritually they're opposites. And I want to talk about playing a melody, mostly on a ballad or something that you want to be really beautiful. Because when we talk about jazz piano, we talk a lot about voicings, how do we arrange for the piano, but if the melody is not played in a singing, beautiful style, a lot of the other stuff is going to really fall flat. So we're going to use this lovely tune called But Beautiful as an example. You might be familiar with the Bill Evans, Tony Bennett version of this. For instance, I think Nat King Cole and Billie Holiday also sang this tune. And let me play a little bit of this melody for you. And I want you to try to pay attention not so much to the voicings or whatever that I'm using, but the way that I'm playing the melody, the style. And then we're going to go through some main points of how you can achieve better, more effective melodies. So here we go. So... All right, it wasn't perfect. I flubbed some stuff for sure, but hopefully you can get across that I'm putting a lot of attention and care into how I'm playing that melody. Now, what are some things that you can do? First of all, know all or some of the lyric. I don't think everybody has to know every lyric to every song they're playing, but if you really care about a song, if you're going to perform it, record it, play it on a big stage, you should really know that lyric. And there's a lot of reasons to know that lyric. It helps you phrase. It helps you know when not to take a breath. It helps you, think of some word painting and inspire an arrangement, right? Word painting is this device where, we take a word in the lyric and we make a musical equivalent. And so in this tune, we've got this lyric, love is funny or it's sad, or it's quiet or it's mad. Now, we could make a very silly version of that where we're going, love is funny, or it's sad, or it's quiet. I don't think that's really that productive, but I think there's this feeling of opposites, of funny, sad, quiet, mad. And we also have 2 phrasing choices, and I tried to do it a little bit differently each time. We could put a real break in between these 2 opposites. We could say love is funny, break, or it's sad, or it's quiet, or it's mad, right? Or we could go all the way through. Love is funny, or it's sad, or it's quiet, or it's mad. So I'm really thinking like a singer when I make these decisions. So that's number 1. Look at the lyric, don't put in awkward pauses in the lyric, and don't emphasize words or syllables that wouldn't be emphasized in lyric. We don't want to go love is funny or love is funny or it's none of that, right? We want to intentionally frame this lyric. Okay. Second thing, balance. Goes without saying, we want to hear the melody. Now, this is a tricky thing to teach because on one hand, I do want to hear the melody. On the other hand, there's nothing worse than hearing a pianist force out the melody, right? we've all heard, people who are thinking about bringing the melody as and it's just like obnoxiously loud, or it's not played with a good sound. So my teacher, who by the way taught Barry Harris and Fred Hirsch among other people, always said allow the melody to come out, or hear it out. So instead of doing something, overcompensating with your body, make sure that you're actually hearing the melody, listening to that, instead of paying attention to the theory, trying to, remember the chords. So you have to have a certain level of mastery over the other elements musically. A great way to train your ear on anything is to sing along with it. This is a great exercise for anyone looking to play a melody with more intention. I'm no singer, and this is in a terrible range for me, but I care about my YouTube listeners, so I'm going to try anyway. I'm really not going to be able to make it up here. And even better yet, sing it with the lyrics, right? Love is funny, or it's sad, or it's quiet, or it's mad. It's a good thing, or it's bad, but beautiful. A third way you can do that, which I personally think is a great exercise, is to sing it with solfege. For those of you who are familiar with solfege, I'm a fixed do guy. Do, re, la, la, so, fa, fa, re, mi, ti, ti, la, la, so, fa, so, re, si, si, la, so, ti, ti, ti. All right, it just gets your ear, your brain really fixed on that melody rather than all that other stuff going on. Now, besides listening, you want to also think about phrasing the melody, and this will also help you to not push it out. And we don't want if everything's coming in at the same volume level, it doesn't really sound like a melody. It doesn't sound like a singer. It just sounds like an exercise or a robot. It sounds like the MIDI version. So within all of these phrases, I want a subtle slur, a subtle crescendo, decrescendo, a subtle tension and release. So probably within this first phrase, I would aim for this note. And notice, especially in this tune, I chose this tune because it has these repeated notes, and I hear a lot of pianists playing these repeated notes so terribly, like da da, with two completely separate attacks. Instead, stay engaged with that key, make them each a little different. Right? One gets the weight, the next one's kind of a rebound. It's a really big level of detail, right? And then I might make this whole thing kind of a sighing phrase. Love is funny, or it's sad. And then this next phrase is very similar to the first one. So I'd probably go again to that high B and then decrescendo off of it, And then again a sigh, kind of just falling off. And then again, a similar phrase. Now, so it's the same shape 3 times, right? But each one's a little bit higher in pitch, right? This first one, do, do, da, da, I can almost sing because it goes only up to an A. The second one, I can not really sing, ya, do, da, da, because that goes all the way up to a B. And then this third one, I have to drop down an octave because it goes all the way up to a D. And that's important information, not because of my vocal range, which is really pathetic, but because I'm going to make each one a little bit grander, right? So not only do we have these micro dynamics, but we also have macro dynamics. So maybe that's mezzo piano and then mezzo forte. And now here we go, forte. we've had a few two-measure phrases. But this phrase needs to keep extending, right? It's a good thing or it's bad, but beautiful. So we want to, just like a singer would want to sing all the way through that, we want to play all the way through that phrase. So there should be a different arc to that last phrase. So you can see there's a lot of details. And then again, we have this word beautiful on 3 repeated notes. So we definitely don't want to play. That's nothing. That's not music. We want to go beautiful, right? We put the emphasis on the word on the syllable beautiful, but beautiful, but beautiful. And the other 2 are just a rebound. Okay? So that's a lot of level of detail. Now, 2 more things that I suggest. Just making a plan here. And they're kind of interrelated. So the first one, and this is something that I have definitely practiced, is to practice playing a melody without any accompaniment and seeing how much music you can make with just that melody, right? So sitting here, putting on a timer for 15, 20 minutes and just playing. Then determine, where do I think the peak should be? Like where, how long are each of these phrases? Where am I going to put the breaks in between phrases? And then you can, of course, add the accompaniment beneath that. Relatedly, I haven't talked about tone yet. And I had a student ask me about tone recently. And one of my favorite exercises to improve your tone is to practice playing these melodies with just one finger. Because when you play with just one finger, it makes you rely more on your back, arm, shoulder, forearm, elbow, wrist, right? All of these other parts of your body that you're not necessarily relying on as much if you're playing with fingers. And you're going to get a better tone the wider variety of body parts you're using. Now, don't take that crazy. Don't use your knee or something. But try to take with one finger and make it as beautiful as you can. Almost. I'm using a little bit of pedal here to connect where I can't connect with my finger, right? But I'm not using too much pedal. If you do that and then you try to play the melody using as much of this back, part of your arm, elbow, shoulder, and now use all your fingers, you're just going to be much more engaged. You're going to get a much nicer tone. You're going to have a lot more options. All right. Thank you for watching. This is a topic that's close to my heart. It's probably not a sexy kind of a video that's going to get a lot of YouTube views, but I have fun. So if you watched all this way, you probably really like the book Playing Solo Jazz Piano because it's got this kind of really detail-oriented stuff. And why don't you put one finger snap in the comments so that I know you watched to the end and kind of saw that one finger technique at the end. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.